We are live,
Woo.
apparently. And I'm gonna close out some programs. Hey everyone, it's the we're trying to keep these streams regular. Uh-oh. No. Do you, Amelia, my
You're good now.
Okay. Okay. Anyway, we're trying to keep these streams regular. I think we had like a really successful stream before, and I'm like closing programs as we're starting, but I think we had like a really successful stream before. I think it was really fun. It seemed like maybe the second stream we did, the like Diary of a Country Priest one, was pretty esoteric, although it has like 1,000 something views, which is cool that people like sat through a 3-hour video about like literally hey Orwell Georgina, about a book and the Thorps, and it's all kind of like mixed together, you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like I feel like last week's video was pretty kind of classic YouTube stuff. Hey Snail.
Yeah, I think we wanted to do something like last time, so that's what's in store.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm this tonight is going to be about Amelia's interest in Ben. Ben told us in a VC, and we've heard from other people too, that as a child I forgot which age he had a brain disease. And can you name it, Amelia?
So on here, we're going to be talking about this thing called EEE, and why it's defined as a severe brain injury. So Eastern Equine Encephalitis, or EEE, is a virus that is spread to people by the bite of an infected mosquito. Only a few cases are reported in the United States each year. Most cases often in Eastern or Gulf Coast states. Although rare, EEE is very serious. Approximately 30% of people with EEE die, and many survivors have ongoing neurological problems. So EEE is technically it's first a virus that you get infected with by getting bit by a mosquito. And then that usually most people who get it, they don't even show symptoms, but it's really rare and most often, especially in children, that virus becomes encephalitis. And so what encephalitis is simply inflammation of the brain.
Okay, well, I'll stop you there because Ben's in the chat, because I feel like, Ben, you're not going to hate the stream because it's about you and your possible sickness as a kid. It's not like anything too crazy. Although we do want to play first I want to show this.
Oh, wait. We will get to that later. We don't have to show that now.
What, this? The death threat?
I was going to bring it up for
later.
Disinhibition at the end of that, but we can talk about it now. I don't care.
Okay, I mean,
yeah, it's already up. Let's do it.
Ben commented on our last video saying, I'm not sure whether it's both of you or just RD, but you're displaying all the traits of people who have a death wish. Let me reassure you, I have no desire whatsoever to fulfill that wish, but I cannot control the actions of others. My guess is your behavior in the past, controlling my best friend to suicide. My best friend died of a fentanyl overdose. Amelia's obvious, though never spoken about trauma, have made you to despair of your souls. But rather than take yourselves out, you seek to ruin the lives of others by taunting them to take you out. You are in the most dangerous state that persons can be in total enthrallment with demonic forces. I pray that grace of God enable you to recognize this before it's too late. So, I know I feel like that was a light death threat, like I guess a saying that somebody else would kill us.
Mhm.
I don't know. And then later in a VC, a couple days, well, I guess the day that happened, we don't have to play all the stuff that he said in the VC. So, Ben is saying, I stand by that, even though the comment was deleted. Okay. So he's in chat. But I just wanted to play this small, short clip of Ben in the VC saying we're evil people. Here.
Referring to it's you and your fucking maniac wife, who are obviously sick people, probably engage in the occult, it looks like, don't believe in God, don't respect anything, speculating about my relationship.
All right, that's all we're gonna play. But I don't know. I like, we're not into the occult. The dog's barking, of course. Oh, you never deleted the comment? Maybe it just got deleted. I didn't delete it. Wait, did Grace delete the comment? That's our dog. Okay. I didn't delete the comment, Ben. Here, Ben is saying we deleted the comment. I didn't delete the comment. I don't know. Okay. Grace didn't delete it. I don't know what happened. Maybe it's anyway, I didn't delete it. Okay. So let's just talk about, let's get to the clips. Let's get started.
Okay.
Do you want me to start with the clips, or what are we going to talk about? You want to read first?
No, I was just gonna point out that so what we're trying to do is define EEE as a severe brain injury, and there's many different like studies, obviously, that show that severe brain injury, especially in men, can lead to certain behavioral changes. And so that's what we're going to do right now, is we're going through these behavioral changes that are notable after a brain injury. And so we found this on this website, and it just goes over these effects, but it starts with disinhibition. And disinhibition is defined as a common change early in recovery is disinhibition, that is loss of control over one's behavior, resulting in socially inappropriate behavior. This ranges from a tendency to divulge personal information too freely to disturbing and unpredictable outbursts of uncontrolled rage. Common complaints include a tendency to make tactless remarks, to laugh inappropriately, to be overly familiar towards others. A major area of difficulty, especially early in recovery, is that of sexual behavior, making inappropriate sexual advances or remarks. Abusive or crude language may cause offense and be acutely embarrassing for relatives or in social situations.
Okay. Oh, can I just quickly jump in and say, although like the most extreme cases of EEE can lead to inflammation of the brain that can cause the brain to swell and then have fevers above 104 that could lead to brain damage. We're not saying this definitely happened. This is just something, this is a theory, an idea.
But all people
can lead to brain damage. Not
have
all
this
people
severe,
that have
well, encephalitis is brain injury. That's all we have to like kind of say here. Encephalitis,
there's varying degrees of it.
Right, of course, but it's
Right.
still a brain injury, and can be severe, obviously. So these are our clips. We tried to find examples here. Finding the most outrageous moments when you just ask yourself, why did Ben do that? There's no other possibility than Ben's lack of controlling himself. It's
Mhm.
either stupid or self-destructive. So yeah.
I mean, I think, well, maybe Ben's gonna tell us about what it's saying, because he's saying that it's EEE is where the lining or the meninges becomes inflamed. But wouldn't that be meningitis? So we're figuring this out, because for anytime I've read the stuff about EEE, it says the brain tissue becomes inflamed and swells. So anyway. Let's sorry to interrupt. Do you want to start with the first set of clips?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
It's
Well,
not
then
a little
pursue it.
victim.
Then
It's
why
a
isn't Grace
monster.
pursuing it?
Yes, I love it. Let's have a great time doing that.
Then do
It sounds fun. See, the thing is, that was important to say, that if I could just snap my fingers and we're
Say
already
it
at
to
like
them, Grace.
the
Say
most
it to them.
fun part.
I can't
What?
speak. I can't speak directly, but you can.
Say to who? Say what? What are we? What? What?
Wait, the implication here is Ben wanting Grace possibly to say that she wants Courtney to be taken out?
Mhm.
Well, I
Taken.
can't tell you what to say because technically it's against the law.
Oh, to the kids?
What? Okay, forget it.
What are
Forget
you
it.
talking?
Can't do it. Forget it. Sorry.
that you want to
Forget it.
see your mom flounder in court, dumbass. Like elaborate
No,
your,
that's not
your
against the
torture
law to
fantasy.
say. Well, yeah.
Whatever.
I mean,
Just
yes.
pretend you don't know what I'm saying. That's fine. That's what we'll do.
I would, if I could snap my fingers and she was up there and I had to, she was being asked by these people.
I'm just saying, say it directly.
Okay, this is what I would say. I can't say it with the emotion, but like, I am going to fucking fuck my mom's shit up so that I want to drive
Say
her
it to the
to
camera.
suicide.
Well, but see, I got to be careful here.
So she's saying at least she wants to drive her mother to suicide. We would say that most people have inhibitions about wanting to get their daughter to like admit they want their mother to die or worse.
Exactly.
You know?
And then you get just that clip of him saying like, I shouldn't say this because it's illegal, but
Right.
I'm gonna go. Thank you very much.
Okay. I can't say it with the passion that I wish I could say it with.
Story when Grace was sunbathing with her friends when she was a teenager, and that you were looked out the window and masturbated.
All right, now wait.
I
started to. That's true. Now wait.
So this story is the one where Ben looked at Grace and her friend sunbathing and masturbated. Most people, I think, would have inhibitions about doing that behavior, but he seems to not have an issue with it in this story, or at least he did it.
Okay.
Now wait. No. Repeat what you said, Shamu. It was a what? The video was what?
No. So it was his wife saying that, or is that putative wife saying that Grace, that Grace and her friends were sunbathing when they were like 15 or 16, teenagers, and then started to jerk.
Right. Now how old was she?
18 years old. You keep doing
She was
that.
18.
All right,
now
She said
no one said
teenager.
15 or 16.
Okay,
See
so
how you
what?
change it?
So what?
18 years old, and you started to masturbate.
Her
right,
friend
so-
was 18 years old. That's right.
Okay, Ben.
All right, now so what's?
No, don't say it
now
like
wait.
you're a
Well,
victim.
okay, well let's
No
get the
one said
context.
15 or 16 except you.
Well, let's get the context
That's
from
right.
you. Now, what happened here? Where is this coming from? Like, what is the?
Yeah, that's true. When and this was prior to us moving.
Ben says most guys would do it, but not admit to doing it. I don't know. I feel like you'd have to ask most dads, but Ben right here doesn't have issues or inhibitions about saying it or admitting it. Who knows? This is all just who knows. Our goofy little theory.
Okay. So Grace may have been 17, but her friend, I remember, was 18, maybe even 19. But anyways, they were sunbathing in the backyard where we were staying. We were staying on the second floor. And I had a moment of, I would say, immaturity where, there were blinds there, and I put the blinds down, turned the lights off, and did, kind of an immature thing, which is to, look at, I didn't ask her to come over there. I didn't anyway. but I started to like, say like and at the time, just to give you some context, like
Sure.
the sexual activity when in marriage had dried up to like nothing. So it was just this like unbelievable prospect of sexual activity with this maniac. Okay, so a guy gets a little, I don't know, backed up, gets a little like wound up, wants to look like I never looked at porn, but like, okay, you get it, right? So I was tempted. I looked at it a little bit. I looked at her a little bit, started to whatever, and then it stopped. And then later on told her mother jokingly to kind of say like, yeah, I get it. It was stupid, right? I was stupid. Now, and so that was told to me as like a huge deal. I don't think that's a big deal. I wasn't. Now her mother said that
No.
I texted her that I was doing it at the time, and that I let both of them know I was doing it at the time. That's not true. And I actually think like, what is the problem with that?
Now, well, I guess so. Was your I guess what they're trying to imply is your daughter was out there at the same time. Is that true?
Yeah, she was.
Okay, so well, I guess that's where they're going with it, right? That she was a.
Look, great. Oops. Yeah, Grace is here. Grace is saying no, half jerking it off to an 18-year-old and then feeling bad about it is not silly or funny. It's disgusting. You're lucky these kind of people are trying to explain that with your brain damage. Grace is being I think she's being a little silly.
Part of this too, and that
I don't think she
know.
means
Actually,
it.
the thing was that it's like,
I don't think Grace means it. She might be playing up something.
Like, see, this is the thing that you and I have in common, Ethan. It's like, I think they have a massive problem with a man my age. So I was a little younger. I was in my 40s then. And I saw an 18-year-old girl and I had a sexual response, which I responded to like a slightly immature way, but not in a creepy way. She never, to this day, I don't think knows about it.
I think most people or society would say that if you're a father, even if the girls are 18, it's probably unacceptable to watch them, including your own daughter, and masturbate, while they're not aware. I don't think that's a controversial thing to say. And I think Ben in this clip even knows it, but what we're talking about is this behavior as related to possible signs of brain damage from EEE.
And, I think that's perfectly normal. If an 18, I didn't know she was coming over. I didn't prep for it. It was just kind of spur of the moment thing. And it was kind of hot. Okay. So,
I mean, I've impregnated an 18-year-old actually.
Yeah.
So
I'm at the beach,
it is what it is. She was 19 when she
gave birth. A beautiful piece of ass walks by me. Right. And a beautiful piece of ass walks by me. I don't ask what her age is before I have a response, but like a beautiful,
but I mean, that was a one-on-one relationship. I guess what they're saying is that Grace being a part of or next to it, you know what I mean, is like the problematic part.
No, they're not. They're saying the 18-year-old. Well, ask them.
Okay, well, that's right. We'll ask him. Yeah, go ahead, guys.
Because if I wanted to be a creep with my daughter, she lived with me. If I want to put a hole in the wall and look through the shower, I mean, come on. It was the different aspect was the friend.
All right. Was there another clip related to this goes on for so long?
Yeah, we can skip around. There are
there's new stuff. Okay. What? Okay. So is this related to disinhibition, this clip, or is this impulsiveness?
Yeah, the whole first part video is all disinhibition.
Okay, this is a newer clip. This is Grace and Ben on the RV trip. This whole section I want to look at eventually, maybe the next time, because it's just so interesting about how Ben and Grace communicate.
Well, wait, this video is at the end.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Is this really Ben? Grace's high school friends openly desired me sexually, and why wouldn't they? I don't look or act like RD. I'm a stud. I think that's a little kooky, but okay. I don't think that's. I don't know. That seems delusional. Yeah. Okay.
Has left me alone. Your mother has left me alone. She has liberated me. She's got the other guys, but that's nothing, right? Obviously, I can talk to them whenever I want, and they can talk to me whenever I want. And legally, I can resolve that however I want. But she has decided And I agree with her. She's never going to talk to me again.
Doing real quick. You know what? Okay, I'll let Ben on for a minute while I look at other stuff.
Wait,
I need to read.
Yeah, we know what this is. The last thing, like that
Mhm.
new one, I added because, do you get why? Because it's like he's saying that stuff that he can contact he's speaking vaguely. He was like
Mhm.
she has those other guys. I think he's talking about his other younger kids.
Mhm.
And he's saying like I can talk to them
Whenever I
whenever
want.
Yeah. And
Right,
I just
talking
thought that
about
was the
breaking
thing
the
of
restraining order.
this inhibition. Like, you know, Ben is divulging this personal information freely. So
Like he's divulging that he's breaking the restraining order in a sense on a live stream, which seems like most people would want to keep
Yeah.
that stuff secret.
I often question that stuff. The only way that I can make sense of it is like you just can't help it, and you think you don't understand the boundaries anymore, so you can't control your behavior. There's no like judgment anymore.
There's
of, like,
no inhibitions.
what's
Right.
appropriate, what's not.
Right. Okay. We skipped the clip we've played twice before, the one where he talks about as a joke getting with Grace. It's
No,
insane.
wait, this? Oh yeah,
Isn't that
that's
what-
a Lalo thing.
but what's
I
this-
don't. She doesn't get pregnant. It's because I pull out and spew it on. I put
That's
my
the
dick.
perfect example.
Yeah. Of not having
disinhibition.
inhibition. Yeah, saying
Yeah.
that live. Okay, what's this next clip?
This is like the dick and crazy thing.
Okay.
We
Putting
all
his
know
dick
we
and
know
crazy.
all of these clips. That they're just what I picked out.
Mm-hmm. Here, let's
to
play it.
describe it. Okay.
And crazy and keep putting it in there. So I'm like locked in with 6 kids until I'm like, wait a second, that's crazy. I'm putting my dick into, and then I'm like, oh shit. Well, I got to use the product of me putting my dick in crazy to help me get my dick out of crazy, which is pretty crazy too. But I'm glad overall, because I'm really happy about my life. I people say I'm a victim. I'm just saying that's what happened. I had to put my dick in crazy to get my dick out of crazy from the product of the dick in crazy, which itself became crazy. But I think I can finally have the relationship which I actually wanted to have with your mother, but which I actually have found maybe with you. Like,
Right. So he's saying all the stuff about putting his dick in crazy, but in the end he's saying, well, I maybe found the relationship I need that I couldn't get with your mother with you, which I think most people would not say that on a live stream. I think that's like why most people or many people watch the original Shamu stuff. And I think is because there's this element of not keeping anything a secret, letting it all out, even when it's stuff that makes you look bad. I think that's why a lot of people have looked deeper into it and have stayed with it.
Because I imagine other people that probably suffer with long-term effects of brain injuries, and they suffer with this kind of thing. It's like saying these things so liberally, and those things come back to bite you every time because you have that lack of control. So it's like I don't get why you would personally divulge any of this information. It doesn't seem like it would ever do anything for you. If not, it would just make your life way more difficult. But
right, and it
has
has
a disability, so
everyone's life. Yeah, totally. Let's see. Okay.
Whispering shit. It's like, it's annoying. So at a certain point, she went outside and I was angry. And one of the ways in which, like, you know, men show anger towards women is by having them sort of humiliate themselves. So I did have her sort of humiliate herself for me outside on a FaceTime call. So she had to.
This is the well-known Grace at Jeremy's radio forum in Seattle. She was freaked out by him. Ben got her to go through the window in the dark woods of Seattle or outside Seattle on FaceTime. It was not pictures, and she disrobed for him
and did
sort
a
of like,
scenario.
you know, this is become in her mind sort of half of a like a psychosexual sort of like, serial killer situation, right? There's a certain part of them that wants to be dominated. They like it when it gets a little hot.
This is your daughter.
Right.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand it's my daughter. Okay.
How did she humiliate herself?
She kind of played out some of those things. Nothing crazy. Nothing that I wouldn't
like what
see in the course of. I don't remember exactly what, but like she took some of her clothes off outside in a kind of scary situation. That's it. And I was like, okay, that's fine.
Ava said,
Okay, now the next clip is from the House of Wayward Hose saga. A lot of these clips are from Shamu. Thanks, Shamu, for letting us use them. Okay, this is from a private Telegram call when Ava came and everything fell apart.
Knock 4 times if you're alive.
Oh, you took Ava down there?
well, yeah, because she told me to come in her room, and I was like, well, I think it'd be better if me and my dad just got a little bit of space.
You're gone.
So,
Good. Fuck you.
all right.
What?
Well, she said that, like, that I was like putting too much pressure on myself, and that I was like overwhelmed.
You're a victim.
And I need to work that out.
Good.
That's what you said. You agree with her.
No, I don't.
I mean, this whole thing is interesting because Grace is kind of what's the word for it? Like speaking for herself here.
Mhm.
Even like Ava influenced Grace for just a second to I don't know, want to separate from her dad, even if it was like just going in downstairs or wherever they were.
Because she knew he was being unreasonable with mainly Ava and like these kinds of demands.
Right.
So Grace, tell us about.
That's what you said yesterday.
I think
It's
you're a
fine for
fucking
me
loser.
to be in the place that I'm in. It's fine for me to be in the place that I'm in. And what I'm doing is getting stuck.
I have nothing to say to you. Fuck both of you. Fuck off. I don't give a shit what you're doing or why you're doing it. Just like it makes no sense to me. What the fuck? Why didn't you back me when I was trying to
Grace,
say like this is what this is? Well, every time I asked you like to do something, you're like, oh my god, right? It's like you and her are like, oh my god, gross. It's like why?
No. That's not true. When you asked us to say like that you live on a yacht or that you were going to take us on a yacht, I was like, yeah, that'd be funny. Didn't I? I was like, okay. I was like planning what
you
to
went
say.
Why didn't you say like, come on, no, let's do it?
I
take her side. Yes, you do.
You said you wanted her in the front seat with you. I said I offered her to be in the
Jesus
back
Christ.
seat.
That's not what I'm talking about, Grace.
Because I'm sure everybody knows Ava came down and immediately Ben, did the hair pulling thing, and he was really wanting her to like get, I would say, get into the House of Wayward Hose thing and be submissive, and Ava wasn't doing that, and it sounds like Grace wasn't to him being supportive enough. I would still say this when we're talking about disinhibition, the idea of, again, oversharing, sharing things that people would be shocked about or think are strange. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
I was literally talking about where you are in the car.
But I was laughing back there, but the windows were down. I was trying to participate. I kept saying
whatever. Fuck you. Then Grace's job, right, was to be the Ghislaine Maxwell to my Jeffrey Epstein. She's our first wayward hoe to try to survive the Home for Wayward Hoes. And like,
what is the Home of Wayward Hoes? Is that your house or?
It's this compound. Yeah. The Home for Wayward Hoes is where hoes come. They can't be too wayward, but where they can interact with masculine energy in a way that's real, not this pretend thing. So, like, for example, I don't know, within 5 minutes of getting in the car, I pulled Ava's hair. I said, we have to hurt each other so that we can establish some intimacy. I pulled her hair and I told her to hit me, and she goes, oh, well, I wouldn't do that.
Could you explain?
Well, my point was that you have to initiate, something that's a little bit less than, totally bourgeois, like, hey, you're my guest, you run the, I mean, you understand it's emasculating for most men when there's their daughter's guest is going to come over. It's like, oh my gosh, you're a princess and I don't have a dick. And what?
I mean, I personally think the reason it felt emasculating is that they would have to kind of change up their behaviors maybe for Ava, and you know,
Mhm.
he didn't want to do that.
Yeah, they're on princess behavior, so
Right. And then and possibly we get to that element of Grace feeling embarrassed of Ben.
Mhm.
So things were going
Yeah.
crazy.
I mean,
do you wanna
whenever I
yeah.
read when I read the symptoms about disinhibition, it was like saying like most of the time it's just really hard for like any kind of family members because of this embarrassment that you would get from like, you know, somebody in your family not having control over what they're saying or doing. So
Right.
I can understand that. And I also just wanted to say, you know, like we're bringing this up, and by no means are we using this to like excuse his behavior by showcasing these correlations, but rather we hope it might just explain some of the things about his behavior that we find that like don't make sense, you know?
Right. As a little, if you're cool with this, as a little like intermission,
Yeah.
I wanted to go over some people, not us, are creating, or us plus some other people are creating a Ben Thorp dictionary.
Encyclopedia.
Okay? Right. So let's go through some of it. The definitions can change, but something that Ben says a lot is, and Grace and the whole family at times, but I think it starts with Ben, I assume, acting crazy. So this can mean waking up late, acting in a way that Ben or Grace feel isn't helpful to them in their message, maybe. Acting like a victim. Victim is a meme in the Thorp world, but reacting to outside stimuli, or
alienated way.
Alienated way. The classic when Grace said to Courtney was sweeping in an alienated way, right?
Sometimes alienated person.
Right, like an alienated person, antisocial, unwilling to please Ben. Bonding. Physical violence. We just talked about Ava. Bourgeois, unwilling to take abuse, or I think anyone that, because maybe Ben just doesn't like a, you know, I don't know, blue-haired lesbian, a woman who does not find Ben attractive. Calm down, stop triggering Ben's narcissism. Checkmate. We didn't do all these at all. Daddy issues. See Ben's mental illness. Delicious. Ben uses delicious a lot. A creepy way to make you like to say you like something. Doesn't make any sense. Makes sense. I like that. This wasn't spell checked or anything. Faggot. Anyone who speaks the truth. See Shamu or RD, but maybe I'm worse. Flirting with Ben, displaying disgust for Ben. That's Amelia. I feel like that. Flirting from Ben, a failed attempt at displaying dominance. Hostility, depression. Wait, we don't have to go through all of it, but loser, anyone doing anything that requires mental effort. Or any enemy of Thorp Corp is a loser. Yeah. I think like you sometimes, I feel like you have to laugh at the absurdity of this because it gets it's so harsh and dark. I mean, this is let's see, make it happen. Mother's energy, having a disagreement with Ben. Also, femininity is sometimes acting in a way that Ben might find
agreeable.
You're easier, agreeable. You're easy to deal with. Let's see. Let's do soothe.
Yeah.
Southie, anywhere north of Pawtucket. Victim, every human being except Ben. Wound up. I don't know about horny, but cracking from endless lectures, I thought was an interesting one. So yeah. We gotta this needs to be updated. If there's anyone any words that Thorps use, please let us know. We can add to this community Wikipedia for Thorp terminology. All right. So
Nice.
Okay. So we're gonna go to impulsiveness.
I'll read it, the description.
Yeah, go for it.
It says a person with a brain injury may tend to speak or act without thinking about the possible consequences of their behavior. This can lead to embarrassment in social situations, such as if they say an inappropriate remark without thinking that it might upset the person they are speaking to, not that he cares. Or in other circumstances, it can lead to practical difficulties, such as if they agree to do a task and they're not realistically able to complete it, or if they spend more money than they than can be afforded. So impulsiveness definitely blends in with the first one, because it's definitely like kind of the same thing, like speaking and acting without thinking about the possible consequences of the behavior. So a few examples that like I could think of like off the bat is like when they went to, I don't know what store it was like Kmart or something, and they bought like a bunch of stuff like impulsively, and it wasn't that they got upset about it afterwards. It was just kind of like the vibe is there that, you know. Oh shit, I can't hear you. Oh, word.
I muted because Riza called me.
Oh, okay.
For some reason. Anyway, okay, so do you want to play the first clip?
Yeah, for sure. I was just gonna say, like, one of the main examples of this is like, you know, the first clip we're using is him describing pulling Ava's hair. So
okay,
you
for
can
this,
play it.
Right.
I reached over, grabbed the chunk of her hair, pulled it, and then released. But on the way over, I can't tell you what I had to do to Grace to calm her down because
could you explain that?
It's illegal. Like
I still want to know. I still would like to know what happened on that car ride to going to pick up Ava. Ben claims they almost got into a wreck. So if Ben or Grace in the chat want to explain that further, I'm interested.
It's either be communicative, and that's fine, or do your own fucking thing, and I don't fucking care what happens to you. It's on you. If you're just going to be a retard, be a retard, and if you die, you die.
Okay, so this is why I wanted to wait until like
right. We're going back to the death threat.
So threats, I definitely think, are a part of impulsivity and disinhibition. Just because it's something like that, you know, I don't know if it's that thought out or not. And I did want to address these just quickly and just say these threats do nothing. They reveal Ben's weaknesses. We will never apologize for anything that we have said or have the need to do so for whatever we say in the future. Our words come from truth, honesty, and integrity. Understand that our intention is benevolent because it was about the truth. And ultimately, what Ben wants is not an apology, but for us to be persecuted, prosecuted, and be publicly beaten and killed, etc., for what we've said. And another issue is that our apology will never be sincere or heartfelt because we do not understand nor care to understand whatever it was in Ben that we hurt. We assume it has something to do with his beliefs. And it hurt because his beliefs are weak lies upon which cannot support him, so this endangers him. When threats don't work, it's best to be sparing with words because Ben leans upon weak lies. This makes his words inconsequential to us, but the same cannot be said for himself. This hopeless and desperate attitude and situation comes from an inner delusion that Ben must by all means overcome. So that's all I wanted to say.
I understand. And I think when we say the truth, it's not that we can't get things wrong or we don't say alleged or theory. Even here, we don't know if Ben has brain damage. We don't know anything about that. But I think when we make these videos, it comes from a place of integrity. I think our integrity and honesty.
Right.
But all right. So let's all right. So we saw this. Let's keep going. More Ava.
Do you want to help solve my family problems after you take them out?
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know if the nap is gonna happen. I might just go to bed early.
Okay.
Tonight.
Ava, I can give you a beating. That sometimes helps.
Wait. Let me take my headphones out. Can you repeat that?
I can help her to get to sleep.
Oh fuck.
Physically. We could turn all the lights off and strap her down for a half hour.
Yes.
they just like
She's
I don't know.
talking at me. Say what?
I don't know, just funny where she's like, what's going on?
Oh, she's like, is he talking to me?
Yeah.
I mean, it's awkward as fuck.
Would that be on stream?
You can't stream something that's totally pitch black.
You could just stream the sounds.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
You just stream the sounds.
Yeah. What do you have anything else to say about impulsivity?
I mean, I think there's I mean, I think that there's a million clips you could use, but I think we're great.
True that.
Where Ben is impulsively saying that he wants to tie down Ava.
Oh, tie down Ava. Yeah, I was gonna also say like the house for wayward babies or whatever the fuck that was.
Right.
That
was more of a joke, but although
I know it's a joke.
Bad. Yeah. We know when it's a joke. I think even for Ben and Grace, like we know the baby Playboy was a joke, although I think plenty of people would be shocked by that and be spooked by it. But we didn't add that because I guess we'll give them that was meant to be like comedy, you know?
Yeah, I think a huge difference is like that first video that we played where Ben and Grace are fighting about how she didn't back him with Ava is like a good example of how it's like how could this be a joke? I couldn't understand that. Yeah.
Okay, so
next one is irritability and aggression. So perhaps the most common behavioral change after brain injury is that of increased irritability. People with brain injury are often impatient, intolerant of others' mistakes, and easily irritated by interruptions such as noises from children or machinery, which disrupt their concentration. They are frequently reported to be short-tempered. For example, when things do not work out as they were expected to, or when there are differences of opinion with family or work colleagues. There is an association with poor behavioral control. It may be a result in outbursts of verbal or physical aggression. So anger is one of the many emotions which can become expressed differently, be less controlled.
I mean, although with somebody like Chris Benoit, and that's a very extreme example, and that was CTE, it's still an element of brain damage, you know.
Yeah.
But there's all kinds of examples of irritability and aggression related to brain injury.
Like it says, that is the most common difference after it's the most common behavioral change.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So let's look at the first clip.
Forget it. I'm done.
This one.
You just told. I was
Forget it. Forget it.
just messaging him to see.
Yeah, all she wants to.
All right.
You then. It literally does hurt.
But I do know what it's like.
He's talking about Ava's hair getting pulled, and Ava's saying that my hair getting pulled by you does hurt.
To have hair pulled, and it's not a big deal, which makes me think all the other stuff is a bunch of fucking lies.
Okay,
you fucking love getting raped. You fucking love.
Wait a minute. What?
You like getting raped?
Yes, it's not that big of a deal for women to get raped. It's not that big of a deal.
So
what is at the core of marriage?
I know that these two are not like it's not physical. but they are
the first one was a
verbal expressions of aggression.
A failed physical correction. So wait, also what did Ben say? I was at court today and hit up a random female attorney, and on our way out of the restroom, I asked her out via text an hour. I don't know what that was about. But failed physical correction from Ben, where he tried to correct or hit Grace, allegedly. And then the Ava thing where he admits to pulling her hair aggressively, and he's just like, why are you worried about this? Isn't that big of a deal? And then this clip that's pretty well known. It's in Shamu's documentary.
Giving?
All right, fuck you. Fuck you. May you rot in hell for saying that. Fuck you.
That was okay, let's go to the next one. This is Ben's son, John. Ben claims that he did not kick John's leg, but I think we should just let it. Either way, there was an aggressive thing that occurred. Everyone can watch it.
They said it's almost, it's stupid.
That's all I have.
I mean,
Okay.
I don't know. I would say that something got hit, and it's definitely a sign of aggressiveness. Okay, so you want to go to the next one?
Yes. So apathy and loss of initiative. This one's definitely harder to show than just like kind of talk about, but I'll describe it. So some people may become passive, unresponsive, and lacking in initiative after brain injury. They may appear unconcerned and even unaware of their difficulties, especially in the early stages of recovery. Often may appear interested and have good intentions to carry out activities, but are unable to organize themselves and initiate action. This may happen to any of us when we feel depressed, but for the person with a brain injury, this can result directly from the injury itself rather than solely as a result of depression. So since this one's, you can
There's like a still here, right?
Yeah, there's a picture.
Okay.
Yeah. Wait, go back.
Okay, so this one is Ben in bed, and Grace says, if my dad has anything, it's engaged in starting new things. But even from your own mouth, Grace,
I think it's about finishing what you start as well.
Well, I mean that, Abyssinia went under, but it lasted for many years. But it sounds like after that, there was a huge period of time of depression, laying in bed, from what I've heard. Possibly not being able to get up or do certain things, and I've heard that Ben would lie in bed for sometimes weeks at a time, but that's just, who knows if that's true. But I think it's a definite sign of apathy and loss of initiative. Although Ben is saying like this idea that I'm experiencing the signs of brain damage 45 years later. I think we can't see Ben's entire life, but I think there's an element of all these little beats hitting, and we don't know. Ben could get a brain scan tomorrow and he'd show me and you and say, I'm completely wrong, fuck off. These are just, it's just interesting because when we read the signs of brain damage due to something like EEE, it seemed like the list was, these things were, oh yeah, that's true in our opinion. So
plus I mean, there is such thing as short-term and long-term recovery, and sometimes never, right? Like sometimes people who have brain damage never recover, and that's just a fact.
And sometimes people get better. I don't know, I'm not a doctor. Let's see. Okay. Why this clip?
Why?
Yeah.
Oh, because of what he says in it.
Okay.
Definitely.
If you lay me down, that means like help me out. It doesn't mean torture me so I'm so exhausted. that I crawl into a bed that's not made, that's dirty, that's got your menstrual whatever on it to remind me of how much of a victim you are. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. He's trying to help some bitches out.
By the way, we're not saying that the menstrual thing's about Grace.
Yeah, this clip isn't about that, but it is about like the next clip too. I kind of found like, oh, it's like interesting that there is this kind of blame on Grace most of the time for the apathy and the loss of initiative.
Right. So that's a blaming of apathy and loss of initiative, right? Even though he's talking, yeah.
You're sabotaging my life, exhausting me constantly, so that you can blame me for failing. But I'm telling you, I don't buy it.
Let's watch that again.
So, along those lines, I think you should read Andrew Tate. He put something out there.
You're sabotaging my life, exhausting me constantly, so that you can blame me for failing. But I'm telling you, I don't buy it.
That's part of a longer conversation, though, what I think is interesting about saying, like, you know, you're causing me to be exhausted to where I can't do anything, and then you're going to blame me for being a failure, right? So it's like creating an excuse for whatever isn't getting done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm sure that kind of the way he talked, I assume, was similar to Courtney, where he would blame her for not being able to get out of bed. Ben can tell us right now. He's in the chat. Do you want to go to egocentricity?
Sure. Okay. This is the second to last one. It says people may also become egocentric after brain injury, tending to be self-centered and appearing not to consider the feelings or needs of their family and friends. In adversity, it is most common for anyone to tend to focus on their own needs, but this can be greatly exaggerated for a person with a brain injury. Cognitive impairments can mean that they are oblivious to or unable to appreciate others' points of view and may be unaware of the needs of others.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Does Ben have issues with ego? I think even he would agree. Maybe.
Okay. You want to play it?
Sorry.
I was in the supermarket with them in this bourgeois town, the next town up, the rich town. And I asked them just because Grace said there was a very attractive young woman like near us, and Grace was like, that chick looked you up and down. And I said, that's because you girls are with me, right? Because it becomes like a kind of, you know, Trump kind of thing, right? Where you've got two young girls, and they were like, no way, because they'll assume you're that we're your daughters. And I was like, not really. You girls are like in your 20s, you know, like what.
So Ben's talking about when Ava came, he wanted Ava and Grace to pretend to be girls or girlfriends with him that were going on his big yacht to like troll the checkout person. So it was like, come on, let's improv and pretend you girls are coming with me to a big yacht like I'm a Trump-esque Mac Daddy, is the way that I would see it.
Would you be doing? So I was like, just for 5 fucking minutes, pretend like we're going on my yacht and we're just getting some supplies together for the yacht. And you girls are like so excited. And I just met you and you're super excited, and talk to this hag of a fucking, checkout person about it. Right. Just to show my point. And instead Ava goes to the self-checkout and Grace is like, I'm not doing that. And my point is, fuck you. Why can't you do that? What is the fucking problem?
Why do they have to do that? Like, what's the whole? Is that just for you to look good?
No, I'm just saying, I want you to start to understand how sexual dynamics.
It's interesting because someone's like, is that for you to look good for your ego?
He said, no, like, no, it's for them to learn the sexual dynamics.
Right. That's like an excuse or whatever, in my opinion.
Like actually work.
Yeah.
It's to calm her down.
Many of these clips start blending together, like all of the symptoms. So it's like disinhibition, ego, like it kind of becomes like an amalgam of all of them.
Yeah.
Can't you do that? What is the fucking problem?
Why do they have to do that? Like, what's the whole? Is that just for you to look good?
No, I'm just saying, I want you to start to understand how sexual dynamics.
Sorry,
actually work.
No worries.
So your daughters, They're your daughters.
Those are not my daughters. No, one's my daughter, one's not. Okay. I
Okay,
understand, like, whatever. Okay, but okay, she could. It's not. Okay, so what? She could play my daughter or whatever, and her friend who are excited to be with you. I'm just saying, show me sexual attention and watch how
your daughter show your daughter show.
The Home for Wayward Hoes has to work for me, or it's not I'm not helping these females.
Right.
It's got to work for me. I've got to get better food, better everything, better feminine companionship. Right? Me pulling her hair puts me in a vulnerable position. It doesn't hurt her. This fucking lying Brie is full of shit. It doesn't hurt a girl to have her hair pulled. It's fucking lies from these hellish women.
What are you a victim of? Why is it that you hate? Like, really, it's about God, right? Why do you hate God right now?
Because he's making me act like this, and I'm not having a good time.
Is he? Is he? Is God making you act like this? God is making you act like this.
No, I can't really say that, but...
No, you're mad because I am your father.
It's so weird.
That is what God did. He put me as your father. You're mad at him for that.
Yeah, the egocentricity thing.
Yeah, that's a
and
great clip.
then kind of going into being like, I'm God. I and your father are one. I don't know.
Totally.
It's fucking weird. But yeah.
Wait, is it, this is already, we already show this?
Oh yeah, no.
This is the end.
We're at the end, yeah.
Okay. Wait, before we get to the end,
the end is long. I mean, we're basically gonna go over this next video. It kind of
we could talk. Okay.
Do you want to go over
people wanted to come up, so I'll give the link if they want.
Well,
is that okay with you?
Can we finish the okay, I'll just talk about obsessive.
I don't think anyone's really going to come up. I just promised.
Okay. All right. No, that's totally fine. I just wanted to talk through the last little bit. I saved it for last because it seems important.
The obsessive behavior one?
Yeah. So the last symptom of long-term brain injury and stuff is a person may become obsessive or fixed on certain thoughts or behaviors after a brain injury. For instance, they may be afraid that their possessions will be stolen and subsequently check their belongings repeatedly. They may insist on a particular routine or things being done a certain way. So one obvious example of this is Ben buying a safe. It's kind of that paranoid thought about where your belongings are. But then mainly I think the examples are mostly about making people say things a certain way, obsessive about how words are used, and the way that things are being cleaned, making people write down his thoughts, making Grace write down certain things and that is a part of obsessive behavior, which in this video where they're in the RV, that was what I saved for last, so we could go over we can do it next time. But
no, I mean, no, okay. No one's coming up or anything.
Oh,
I don't think so. I just promised someone I would put up. Okay. Let's see.
All I'm saying is I'm a useful resource in that I can point out.
So this is going to be a little bit looser, but this is a video that I really wanted to go through. This is the whole, we won't necessarily go through the whole portion of it, but this is when Grace and Ben were in the RV on their trip to the DC Baltimore area.
Things, and then you can take them and write them down and do what makes the most sense to do. But you're I don't want to hear about any of those things. You don't want to deal with reality.
Yeah, because I'm kind of playing this game with you where
Why don't you want to deal with reality? Because you're a victim of reality, right?
Amelia, Ben Ben's up. Do you want to?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Hey guys,
Hey, Ben.
I'm laying in the back of the RV right now. I'm homeless.
Nice.
Why? Because
my neighbor punched me in the face, and when I asked my landlord to help me with that situation, he threatened violence against me. So I don't feel safe there. Is that a brain injury expressing itself, or is that reasonable?
I mean, if you don't feel safe, I get it. Yeah.
Can we say that might not be a brain injury expressing itself?
No, that's just being freaked out. If your neighbor punched you, and
I tried
guess
to go back there, and I felt crazy. I felt like, you know what I mean? You just have like a traumatic experience. Like you feel afraid because the people that are supposed to be, you know, you're supposed to trust are like acting, I would say, irrationally. But maybe you guys think it's irrational to expect that your neighbor won't punch you in the face for no reason.
No,
or that your landlord would threaten you.
No, I still don't know. I guess you haven't wanted to get into it. How he threatened you? Was it just he was like, "I'm gonna"?
He jumped out of his truck when I said, we really need to, hash this out. I can't have a situation where this line is crossed of violence for no reason because of suspicion that your Wi-Fi is being stolen, but you won't talk about it. You just threaten my daughter and then punch me in the face when I say, like, you can't attack her. And so he jumped out of his truck to attack me.
Okay.
And went screeching off. And has subsequently, I had said to him, look, Ron, let's maybe you were in a nervous place. Let's just agree that our relationship isn't based on violence, but based on, the law and our lease. And we don't have to be friends.
What did he say anything?
He said, basically said, fuck you back in response.
So what do you think you're going to do? Are you going to deal with,
I talked to a lawyer about it today. I actually talked with 2 lawyers today, but one in detail about it. And he seemed to think that because I had paid ahead in rent that I was kind of screwed. And I understand that perspective, but this lawyer later told me in our conversation that he felt like he's I guess a totalitarian fascist, because he later said that he thought that if you found a slave who had run away from his master, that you should return him to his master. So
weird. He said that.
Yeah,
Ron said that. Damn.
No, not Ron. The lawyer that I spoke to today.
That said that.
$250 for an hour of his time, and he's totally crazy.
So he was just saying, "Oh, since you gave the money, you're screwed," or some bullshit.
Which is not true.
Yeah.
Of course, there's a lease, right? So the lease can be enforced, and I think, well, whatever, he might have said he might have been right to say it might be difficult in court, but to fight. But he seemed to think like, so it's actually interesting because I wrote him a check for $250 after realizing like he doesn't know even the most basic principles of law. And then I realized I wrote the check on an account that is no longer in existence. So I'll tell him the same fucking thing he told me. Well,
what can you do?
You should have got the money in cash at the time. Sorry, nigga. And we'll see how he responds to that.
Yeah.
Because he told me it was my fault that I didn't press charges
against Jacinda.
And I said, well, I think it's, you want to give people a chance to calm down and hopefully they'll apologize. But I do understand that some people believe that you should be extremely litigious and get a lawyer. You know what I mean? I think it's reasonable to say like, well, hopefully people will calm down and see the error of their ways. But
yeah. So you got your glasses back from Jill?
Yeah. Did you hear? Well, you must have seen this thing that happened with Grace.
Right.
So my friend who I've known for 10 or 15 years and taught with went up with us. And right before Jill came out, this guy, Craig, right before Jill came out, he says like, oh, look, I'll pretend to be Grace's, me and Grace will pretend to be girlfriend and boyfriend, which I thought was funny, harmless.
Mm-hmm.
But then later I find he's groping her. She tells me he's groping her under her jacket, like sexually.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
I mean,
I
yeah, that's
ask
crazy.
you, is that someone who has a death wish?
That is somebody who has a death wish for sure. I mean,
he's saying,
fucked up.
which he knows that she's going to tell me that after. He's put her in a situation where she can't really say anything, right? Because it would be really socially awkward. And he's like putting his hand like in her ass crack. And like, right. So I think I'm not am I threatening him if I say it seems like he wants me to
No, that makes sense. That's
come
your daughter
hunt him down and fucking annihilate him, because that would be a normal reaction. But I didn't do that, and I was glad Grace had a socially acceptable way
to deal with
like
it.
call him out. Yeah, and so I'm not going to talk to him again, and I hope he never sees me again for his sake.
Yeah.
But you would have to say that's highly antisocial behavior.
Well, yeah. I mean, did you ever get a hint that he might be a weirdo a little bit? I'm not blaming on you or anything. I'm just saying, was there ever?
Yeah, sure. But it's my daughter, and
right.
You know what I mean?
He wasn't weird back then.
Years we taught moral theology together, of all things,
Has he responded to Grace? I don't know if she's messaged him or anything.
No, he's a coward. Of course.
Right.
That's the thing with the death wish. People a lot of people I think have a death wish. I'm just calling it out. I'm not saying you necessarily do. But when you say things about my daughter Maggie, maybe I misinterpreted what you said. But it seems to me like someone who would want to be saying that to my about my daughter does want me to respond with violence. Mostly you guys stay away from that stuff, but you kind of there while lying and claiming that you cared about protecting her and Joey. I think you shouldn't have done that. I think you should apologize, but you won't, because you're recalcitrant.
The access thing, using the term access. Yeah,
right.
You wanted access because right.
When
we
all know
Grace went to the house.
You could lie that it doesn't mean what you obviously were implying that it means. You could just lie; it doesn't matter. But
okay, well,
at
for
a certain
that
point, it does matter because it's defamation. But you can lie. It's very unlikely that I'll take you to court. But go ahead and cross more lines.
No, but for that one, it was Grace was talking about the she was talking about the recording where she went to the house or whatever.
What did you mean by access?
I meant you wanted to get the kids to come over or see them.
What did you mean by access to my daughter Maggie? What did you mean? Let's just not lie for one
second. No. That's 100% what I meant. Was we were talking about Grace coming over.
What did you mean? You meant access sexually, correct? Because you were talking about it in the context of what? What was it you were talking about?
Well, we were talking. Okay,
you were talking about how people get groomed, right?
Well, Lalo was talking. Well,
no. Can we admit that? Yes.
Well, we were
talking about how it is that predators groom minors, right? And then you use the term access about
but we
daughter. Right?
Sorry.
That's
Lalo?
right.
No,
so the lies are falling apart. Yeah, shake your head all you want.
No,
just admit it. It's fine. Everybody knows it. No one in chat is going to deny that you were implying that.
Well, Lalo
you can apologize. You can apologize, and it's okay to apologize and say if that I could see where that is objectively what people would say, and I'm sorry for going there, and maybe I didn't mean to, or maybe I did, or whatever, but clearly that was objectively how it was interpreted.
Okay,
and
well,
it's not wrong for me to think that you have a death wish.
Okay, well, the reason that me and Amelia use that term because we didn't want to get it confused with that stuff. We were using it because Lalo.
You're such a liar.
Wait, that's the truth. That's what I'm saying. We didn't want to get it confused.
Liar.
Well, because Lalo.
Why lie? Why spend your life lying? You obviously and Amelia both think that I'm a fascinating person, right? And I mean, I would say I'm not gonna go there with the whole what you guys want to do with me as a threesome or whatever. I was just mostly kidding around about that. But I think you I think we could be friends. I think we find each other interesting. I think this idea that you're like sexual Puritans, I just don't buy it. I don't think you're sexual Puritans. You talk openly about doing BDSM with each other.
Yeah, we're not sexual Puritans. No.
So why is it that you find like a joke that I say like deeply offensive, and then you're laughing about it at the same time?
When it happened, right? The joke.
What?
Oh, well, I mean, to me, there comes a point whenever you make the joke. That's why I said, well, Ben, people are going to misunderstand.
Do you really think that I'm a scary person?
I mean, whenever you said the thing about wanting to die, I was spooked for sure.
What did I say? I said specifically, I have no intention whatsoever.
Okay. Well,
right. How can that be a fucking threat, RD?
Well, freaked me out.
I wish you and Amelia happiness. I think you have some sort of weird problem that makes you like sexually like weirdly repressed and liberal at the same time. I don't know what it is. I could speculate on it, but like it's your private life. But it is weird that you've been married supposedly for 12 years and have no children. I would say would be unusual, right?
Yep.
And there's probably some reason for that, and I imagine it has to do with some kind of sexual problem. But I guess you could have normal sex with someone you're married to for 12 years and both of you are reproductively normal and not conceive a child. I guess that's technically possible. It just seems almost statistically impossible.
Yeah.
But you don't have to share that. But I think there's something that seems to be somewhat of a clue to me as to where this like concern comes from about sexual impropriety. I mean, I'm a normal guy. I think it's normal. Maybe I'm a little bit less inhibited than most guys, but
yeah.
I have erections. I enjoy sex.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm promiscuous. I'm not sure.
You weren't, by the way,
you were what the problem is.
You were saying in the thing that Jill wasn't really your vibe, like she's too old. You were saying like 29.
Yeah, I was kind of saying that. Yeah.
Yeah. Was she? I mean, was she interesting? Are you annoyed that Grace read all the text messages?
In the context, she didn't know where honestly, she didn't know where I was. It was a weird situation because I got like super baked. It was, kind of my fault. I got super baked. I shouldn't have been driving. I just dropped the RV off. I had been trying to give Grace space. So I went to a storage unit where there wasn't, I couldn't charge the phones and stuff. And I probably was there for 2 or 3 days, just in a total haze, not really eating. I had a little bit of water. And, I mean, I understand her saying like, okay, I'm going to try to figure out where this guy is because she was concerned. It's my, it's my fault or whatever. It was a very unusual circumstance. And Jill accepted our apology.
Okay. So Grace was acting out essentially because she didn't know where you were. I mean, I
think she was just saying like, where is this guy? Like, I'm kind of concerned, but also it's kind of funny because, he's always getting into some kind of, silly thing. It was a silly situation where I was like drugged.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It was as if I was ODing on drugs, but it was weed. So it was kind of absurd,
Yeah. I mean, have you, anytime I've ever smoked weed, I felt horrible. So
was it like a psychosis?
What's that?
Did you have psychosis or what?
Well, I've only smoked it once before, and I don't have that like paranoia that a lot of people get. It wasn't that. I just felt like I had drank 20 beers. Like I just felt nauseous, like the room was swimming. And I know why it is in retrospect. I smoked a spliff like a cigarette. And I had a spliff before with Grace with very low grade marijuana, and she probably only put a few leaves in it. And it was, it didn't have any effect. So I was feeling confident. But a spliff can mean, you know what I mean? It depends on this was high grade marijuana. And I think she put a lot in it. And she just assumed I was lying, I think, when I said, like, I've actually never experienced marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
You probably thought I was just lying, or that you know what I mean, that I would have.
Yeah.
I just had no idea.
Well, how long do you think you felt it? Like the effects of it? A couple days? Oh. I don't know if Ben's did Grace just pull the internet? Well, Ben, we're gonna remove you, but if you come back, let us know. We'll be waiting. Apparently Lalo might come on, but I don't know if Lalo wants to come on without oh wait, Ben's here. Hey.
Sorry, I hit the button.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I mean, like, I could tell you guys, like, I'm laying in bed here. I'm basically completely nude. Is that crazy to say?
That you're completely nude?
Yeah.
I mean, hey, that's if you're nude.
Feel crazy?
If you don't regret it.
Yeah.
What's wrong with being naked? I'm an adult. You know what I mean? Like, I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the question is, do you have any regrets?
But I mean, does that make you feel like I have brain damage?
No. I wonder, like, do you have any regrets at all for anything you've ever said online?
I mean, there's things I would have said differently, probably in retrospect or whatever. Knowing, I mean, how do you know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess it would be like a feeling of embarrassment. Do you feel? Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, it's just a feeling of embarrassment, like that when you watch it. Do you ever feel embarrassed?
Oh, I'm super proud of those clips. I'm super proud of them. I'm always like, wow, I did great. I'm so charming and funny.
Mm-hmm. Even though we didn't play because we played it.
Don't you guys agree? It's. I mean, you have to say I do have a little bit of charisma now.
Yeah, I mean,
you're laughing, Amelia, half the time. Come on, it's funny.
Well, yeah, it's absurd. It's crazy.
It's absurd,
I mean,
yeah.
But
it's the confidence. It's your overconfidence that is a little comical sometimes too. Don't you think?
I would say I'm confident. I would say it's not overconfident. I would say it's appropriately confident.
Wow, that's you.
Well,
sure.
I mean, I don't know if was it nice?
I would say that I exhibit the normal traits of a masculine man.
Mm-hmm.
I think both of you have problems with masculine men.
Okay.
I don't know why, but my guess is that neither of you have totally positive relationships with your fathers.
Well, my father's dead. So.
I love my dad. He's awesome.
But yeah, I'm sure it's complicated.
My dad's dead, so I just
that's complicated.
Yeah, he's bone. Oh no, he got cremated.
He's dust
in New Haven, Connecticut, Stony Creek.
You know, I would say this because I say a lot of people have daddy issues who interact with us, like people like I say in the Thorposphere. But it's interesting. Almost none of them are what I would consider like total losers, like, just sort of people who are checked out. Usually the people that we interact with are very attractive people.
Hey, Lalo.
Like in Amelia's case or in RD's case, like you obviously are a fascinating and bizarre character. You're not attractive, but you're rich.
Yeah.
And that's not true.
Yeah.
I'm attracted to Rusty.
Yeah, I do think you're attracted to Rusty, but he's not conventionally an attractive man. You've got to admit.
Okay, what's up, Lalo?
Whatever.
I don't think you have to be conventionally attractive to be attractive. I'm just saying.
Yeah, totally. What are your thoughts, Lalo?
Okay.
I'm not conventionally attractive.
All right, so I did see a new clip. I know. Okay, so basically we have this new clip, and it has to
Lalo
do with Ava saying, like, we're gonna tie her up. Okay, but with Ava, I saw this new thing where she's wearing like the green outfit or something, and I don't know where the fuck that was happening. I missed out. But that's cool that you guys included that. So you're really just adding to the depth of knowledge I have over this. Now, to get into the analysis, I like that you put all of Ben's mannerisms into a list because it does really actually point out to the fact that he's got all these like creature comforts. Okay, I get that. When you're old, you have established patterns of behavior, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this Jill thing needs to be explained because you didn't end up smashing. Now, do you think it's because you refused it or because you couldn't?
Okay, let me just say this straight up, and you just have to believe me. She was DTF. She was down from beginning to end. Okay, it was super clear. Grace will attest to that. She was with me, and you could see this woman was attracted to me, and I find that interesting. Okay, so it was available. I even asked her, and she was like, basically yes. You know what I mean? My response was, I just couldn't. You know what I mean? The chemistry wasn't there on my side. Really like her as a person, but I found that she was too abstract, too like always talking about like basically intellectual stuff. You know what I mean?
Okay, but isn't that what you
So
like, or do you just
was
want the
like,
woman
am
to
I
shut the
gay?
fuck up and
Because she's
take?
attractive, she's willing. I certainly deserve it. I think I'm over the like I was a married man, whatever. I don't see it as like a big moral issue. She's not really reproductive age at age 40, I don't think. But I was like, yeah, I just don't, just no interest on a sexual level. Plus, she
So
also
did you
was
even kiss
like,
her?
she also was like into open relationships, which I don't understand at all. How you could
Well,
be.
why would that matter if she only wanted you though? Like, did you think she was gonna cheat on you with somebody else? Is that the threat? Is that off-putting?
Well, she already
would've went
was
for
in a
somebody else
relationship.
too?
She said she is in a relationship with somebody else.
So
I was
she's
like,
in an open relationship.
yeah. So
So
she
you were
wanted
already
to
friend zoned.
like, so she's got this other guy and then me, but she was intimating, to be
Wait.
honest.
So you say
her
no? Wait,
first-
no. Wait, hold on. So you're saying, oh, I have these bitches lined up, but you were about to be lined up for Jill, is what you're saying? Isn't that true?
She was trying to line me up, I think, and I appreciate that. It was, it's nice to have that attention.
To be on a girl's roster. Okay, I see it. That makes sense.
But there was something, and what was interesting about her is she's very like pro guy. And when I told her the situation that I'd been through, which you would normally think like ultimate red flag, right? You got 6 kids and you got this psychopathic ex. You'd think, and you're the first one on the rebound, you'd say like that's the ultimate red flag. And she was like, she had had a similar experience with a guy who had been through something like that before, and so it was maybe unhealthy, but it was like it didn't seem to deter her at all. And she also disliked her mother and really bonded with her father, but I think in a weird way that like she almost became masculine because she bonded so much with her father in a way that made her kind of, you know what I mean? Like the chick at the bar who like can talk football and all the stuff, like the guys, they never want to fuck her at the end of the night, right? Because they want to fuck a chick who's not like them in some way. You know what I mean? You don't want to fuck someone just like you.
Well, so I think, do you think you'll ever see Jill again?
I'd love to. Yeah. So I think she might have gotten nervous because of the Craig thing, because, she was this was an interesting thing. And I don't know what you guys think about this, but like a lot of normies feel like when you talk on the internet, it's really different and really crazy if you talk about your life, including your interactions with people who are not internet people. But I don't think it's really that different than talking to someone, that you meet on a plane. Like, obviously you should keep in mind certain lines, but they seem to feel like they've been violated.
Lalo, sorry, we're just gonna. I think we're just gonna keep it us. But I appreciate you coming on. But we're just gonna keep it.
I had an impasse with Jill about that because she really felt like she had been violated by Grace, exposing her. It was basically just flirting between me and her, and I thought she came across as a good flirter. I think she ran a good game. I think I ran a good game. I think her Tinder pictures looked good. And I don't see where there was a downside to it, especially since Tinder is public.
Do you think that you're ever going to look for more women on Tinder? Do you want to Yeah,
I already have.
Okay. So would you say
I had a 2-year-old the other day. I was really excited about.
So so Grace isn't with you right now, right?
She's here. She's in the RV.
Oh, okay. So,
but I'm covered up, so don't start spreading rumors.
No, not that, but just like
I enjoy being naked, though. Is that okay?
There's plenty
you
of
guys like
nudists.
skinny dipping. If it was nighttime and we're like on the Atlantic Ocean and it was the summer, and we just took all of our clothes off and went together, the three of us, not together, but like in the ocean. There's something fun about that, don't you think? Does that mean you have a brain damage?
No, I mean, there's plenty of nudists and people that enjoy being naked in water, and I mean,
it's something about just taking all your clothes off. Sometimes you just feel like enough with the clothes.
Right. Well, I think, do you think that
Amelia? What do you think about that?
What? I lost interest when you said the three of us.
I'm not trying to imply anything.
And then in that case, I'm like, yeah, maybe this is your brain injury talking.
Amelia, I'm just saying as a human being, okay? I'm not trying to run game on you, okay? I respect. But like, does it ever just feel nice to be naked without it being sexual, just to be naked?
I don't have to comment to you because like,
do you have
I'm not interested.
That's an inappropriate question.
No, but I would say that Amelia wouldn't be naked around her mom or dad.
No,
right now.
But I didn't ask that question.
Yeah,
but around you.
But just to admit that sometimes it's nice to be. I'm not like naked in that sense. I'm just saying I'm just not wearing any clothes and I'm enjoying it.
Mm-hmm. There are nude beaches for that. If you want to be around other adults. On a
would
beach
you go to
naked?
a nude beach and enjoy
Probably
it?
Probably not. No, because I don't want to see other people's junk. It's not about me.
But I didn't say that. But I was just asking you if sometimes you just enjoy being naked, but you feel like that's an inappropriate question or it gives you the heebie-jeebies. I'm just wondering why.
Naked.
Because if you admit that to me, it means we have sexual intimacy together. No, it doesn't.
I mean, plenty of people take showers naked.
You're not 5 years old. Why do you act like you're 5 years old?
People are naked.
You're an adult
all
woman
the time.
who engages openly, talks about engaging in BDSM. I mean, that's pretty
with
liberal.
my husband. Okay, so I should just post all my nude pics then. Would that be better?
Did I say
Would that prove it?
but why do you go there?
Because I don't want anybody thinking about me naked.
That's what BDSM is, right? And someone administers psycho-sadistic sort of playful whips or whatever the hell it is, cuffs or handcuffs, right? I mean, isn't that implied? Am I wrong?
Yeah, okay, but anyway, this whole
time you share that openly. I'm just saying
the point is
sometimes nice to be naked.
Yeah. The point
you
is
can't answer that question.
The point is
who's got the fucking brain damage here?
Right, but I think the point is that most people probably wouldn't
even a child would tell you it's fun to be naked.
I don't know, but I think that
you do.
Being
you were a
naked
child once, right, RD? It was fun to be naked when you're a kid.
I don't remember like loving.
You don't remember?
No.
You don't remember just enjoying being kind of naked as a kid?
No.
Okay.
No.
I think maybe you have brain damage. You did too many drugs.
No, but like I like being naked when
Everyone
I take a shower.
remembers that.
I'm okay with being naked when I take a shower or have sex, stuff like that.
What about other times?
When I change.
So you don't think you have a problem? You two have a problem with like sexual repression?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess it's an issue.
I'm not saying this to be prurient. You don't have to answer, but do you enjoy just being naked in the same room as each other?
Yeah, we don't mind that. Yeah, of course. Yeah, we're husband and wife.
That? You have a beautiful wife. You shouldn't say, I don't mind that. You should say, I fucking enjoy that.
Yes, I love being naked, and she loves being naked around me. Okay, so how about this? So that's the thing, though, is I wouldn't want to be naked around my mom or dead father. And
neither would I.
Right, but if Grace is around, I guess she doesn't see anything, I assume, so whatever.
To me, it's not that big of a deal with family nudity, but maybe with you two, it sounds like it's kind of uptight. Like,
right, there was that.
RD, I think you probably have some shame about your body.
Yeah.
Because you're overweight.
Yeah, I do. I totally do. Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is that my fault?
No.
So
That's
what if you lose
yeah.
some weight and work out if you want to not be embarrassed by your body?
I'll
take it out on me because I'm not. What do I got to be ashamed of? This is beautiful.
Okay, so or like there's that clip during the RV the live, when you're during the trip where Grace was taking a shower and you kind of walked in, like it's a similar vibe.
I walked in on her taking a shower?
Well, I think you were asking or something like, Grace, I need to do this or that. But I guess I'm saying it's not as big of a deal as what.
If I'm sitting on the pot taking a shit and I like need some toilet paper, would I make this huge fucking thing about leave it outside and I'll try to get... No, she could just hand me the toilet paper. It's fine.
Yeah.
We're adults. If you was 12, I would feel like, okay, you've got to be really careful.
Right. So I think that's what's interesting is like there's
But you guys think it's brain damage or that it's like some kind of sexual perversion. Well, I've never engaged in BDSM.
Right. But
with anyone.
Right. But the closeness, it's always about going back, and we have to get into the closeness of you and Grace and just the emotional closeness. Even you guys have even talked about that. I think people are they're like, oh, that's not traditional.
Artie, can I ask you a question? If you were here in the would you feel comfortable naked around me, or would you feel like self-conscious or whatever? If we're just two
I wouldn't want to be
guys and for whatever reason we're just like whatever taking a shower outside of the RV. I think you would. I think you would feel pretty uptight because I think you'd think I was judging
another guy. I think
whatever.
It's gay to be.
You think it's gay?
Yeah, to be naked around other men. Unless you're just
really like in the gym and after gym class in the shower, you think it's gay? Like what was normal in my day was just guys taking a shower together, whatever, in the nude, still at the YMCA. Guys you think it's gay?
I don't think that's gay, but
gay?
No, it's anyway. I think we're gonna wrap stuff up. Yeah, I think we're gonna wrap stuff up. Yeah. I don't know. I just but
so you would feel intense sexual feelings negatively around a naked man, even if it was like in a normal, socially acceptable thing, like a gang shower.
I think now I just wouldn't want to be naked around. I wouldn't want to share that. I feel like it's an intensely personal thing to be naked around somebody. So that's why I'm like, I would be
around
naked.
Another guy who is not gay.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do it. To me, it's just too personal.
What's personal about it? You have a dick, I have a dick. We both have balls. Like, what's so fucking exciting about it?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just a personal thing. It's like when
you should really try to unpack this with RD. What's the deal?
It's kind of like when you go into a men's bathroom and there's the stalls and a guy's at the very end. You go to the very end stall. Usually, you don't go to the
no. That's gay. When I used to teach the kids, they had like, let's say 5 urinals, right? And you only get a few minutes between, and there's no like faculty men's room because we all share. I mean, there was one, but you had to walk a half mile. They would space out the urinals so that they would never be next to another guy. I would just walk right up, unzip, whip it out, and go, I have no idea, guys. Whatever, right? It's like I would skip the line of all these people waiting, and I would just take the open urinal, and I didn't give a fuck.
Right, so you go up next to them.
That they couldn't sit. What am I going to do? Rape you while I'm urinating? What's the deal?
Well, I think there's like that
take a piss.
There's that unspoken thing where like you don't
go
up
homo,
to another
right?
guy. Yeah, you don't go up to the guy when he's if you have to because you have to piss really bad and it's all full. I would never just go up. But it's interesting you like to do. Is it kind of like you were confronting them? Like fuck off.
No, I just had to urinate.
Yeah.
I didn't do it on purpose, but I just think the spacing is socially, isn't it? You really wouldn't they blockade get rid of 2 of the urinals if you know what I mean? It's saying the construction is saying this is normal. Have you ever been to an open urinal like they have sometimes at like sports stadiums?
Yeah.
That's tough because it's.
I don't do that one. Yeah, I just wait for the stall.
But if you had to take a piss,
I don't know. Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah, but I guess we're gonna wrap stuff up. I appreciate you coming on.
It's getting uncomfortable for you. Okay, I get it.
The dog.
I get it.
No. All right. Have a good.
RD is gay. Amelia, work this out with this guy.
All right.
Nice.
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know. There was a lot of, silly. That was kind of goofy. My dog's mad. Why are you mad? Look, the dog knows we're streaming.
Yeah. She wants us to stop.
Our dog is like an autistic child that needs attention at all times.
Mm-hmm.
And someone's saying, but okay, we've got 30 minutes left. We could, I don't know, should we wait to show this one? I feel like we should show it on next week.
Yeah, why don't we show like at least a clip and just talk about it a little bit? We don't have to watch the whole thing.
Okay, this will be a taste for the next time.
Mm-hmm.
But Ben and Grace went in there to talk, and he got her to write down a list of essentially the bad people, right?
Initially it was like write down all of this bullshit, all of the lies of like the people in the chat, anything that was like commented about.
Right. I think this is what I assume, and Ben and Grace can tell us if we're being honest or not, that it was like pre-YouTube Ben, and with Courtney, maybe with John, where there'd be these long talks that would kind of be really, really all about Ben talking. Let's see.
I'm going to sit here. I've had this conversation with you for hundreds of hours. What is it that I am guilty of? And why are you here if I'm guilty of it? But if I'm not guilty of it, then shouldn't you stop being angry at me?
Yes, I should.
Yeah, that's obnoxious. Obviously, there's something that you haven't gotten resolution on. You want me to say I'm sorry to you. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be sorry for. But you're angry. You think I'm not doing right by you. And I'm not sure why that is, but I think you should figure that out. You can't just be brutally angry at someone, relentlessly torture them, and not even have a justification for it, other than, I just don't know why.
All right, Mr. Poop says Ben is the problem. His abuse turns your existence
All right, so
into
why don't you,
spectacle.
instead of being an idiot, why don't you just take 3 pages here.
Okay.
One is, I don't know, you've got a whole notebook here.
Mm-hmm.
You can write, you can take, I don't know, these 2 pages, you can write haters,
Okay.
people in between, and people who are sympathetic.
Right. So haters, people in between, and people who are sympathetic.
To my point of view, which are...
To my point of view, which I think is interesting.
A few now.
All right.
And see who makes sense. And just write the names. Let them make an extended argument. That's stupid. That's stupid. That's a stupid way to use this.
I'm just gonna use it just to get the ideas down.
You just write it.
He's kind
of these little nitpicking things are a part of that obsessive behavior. To be like, you're not doing it the way that I want you to do. You know.
Mm-hmm. But Ben thinks we have sexual problems and we're projecting it. But yeah,
well,
right.
I think it's weird that anybody has a sexual repression if they don't go along with whatever you're implying. That I like being naked. That would mean that I'm not sexually repressed. But why do I have to say that to you?
Right.
To prove myself that I'm not.
Right.
And the excuse is that, we bring up BDSM freely, so we should be just so liberal with whatever we're saying.
Yeah.
And not private. But hey, we're not like you, Ben. We can't just be completely free to say whatever is on our mind all the time. We do get embarrassed. We do feel some level of appropriate self-consciousness as like for whatever we share,
Yeah. Okay. So I think it's interesting. Like, yeah, I agree that he's saying like she's writing it wrong. It's like, to me, it's like a drill sergeant where they break you down into like the smallest, tiniest pieces. You know what I mean?
It's to like question how
your
you
identity.
feel.
Your identity disappears.
You're gonna write across the inside of the notebook? All right, whatever. You can set it up however you want to. You just did it hysterically instead of using your brain.
She did it hysterically instead of using her brain.
Because
there's
the
another
hysteria
term,
is what the victimhood
and
is
these are
based
kind
on.
of terms coined by Ben.
You're asking me to smack you.
Someone add that hysterically.
Yes.
So that you can then show them that you're the victim.
You're asking me to smack you and you can show them you're the victim. So it's almost like if I did smack you, it would be your fault because you want to show people you're a victim.
Yes.
And then it would
And then
prove
you'll
your
be a hero
victimhood.
by not calling the DC police.
Okay, yes, all of that.
Or maybe you'll break and someone else will call the DC police and they'll show up. And they'll do this thing. This is what you do. It's what your mother did too. I'm not going to do it. And you're a victim of that.
I'm not a victim of that. I'm not a victim of that. I'm being an idiot. I have a problem.
What do you mean you're being an idiot?
I'm being an idiot on purpose.
Now you agree with me about this other person who's being an idiot.
I'm pretending to be afraid of you.
That thing, Grace says it a lot. I'm pretending to be afraid of you.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Grace it is, or maybe you know what I mean. Like I still don't fully understand that she's pretending to be afraid of Ben.
So that people.
Well, I guess I do understand.
It's similar to when he says you're acting like you're embarrassed of me, but you're not, or whatever. You're acting like you're afraid of me, but you know you're not.
Sorry.
No worries.
My hand slipped.
An idiot on purpose.
Now you agree with me about this other person who's being an idiot.
Bad for me.
Great. Okay, so why are you using a tiny device to get this chat?
She learned that from her mom. So Courtney and Grace have similar issues, apparently from Ben.
Whatever, right?
I should use this. It's just because the hotspot hasn't been working, so I just figured it would be easier
So
to use your
it's
phone.
technology. You're a victim of technology.
I'm acting like a victim of it. Yes, I should have gotten.
But the reason we don't have a T-Mobile home internet thing here is because you're a victim of that. Yes. You're always a victim of the thing that. So you have the iPad.
Yes.
Top of the line.
Yes.
But you don't. Me.
That's basically true. Yeah, that's why I don't use it.
So Darius has a top of the line backpack set up with a GoPro, an encoder, a modem, but he doesn't know how to use it or use it because he's a victim of whatever the latest thing he's a victim of is.
Yes.
Why don't you put it here and read it? Because you can't use a hotspot.
I got it. It's fixed now.
It's fixed, but it was broken. Is that right?
No, it wasn't broken. It just, your hotspot wasn't connecting and I turned it off and on again and now it's working.
Okay, and that is because, whatever, right? Just ignore what I'm saying. That's fine.
All right. Okay. Haters. Haters of Ben. Supporters.
Why do you say haters? Because they're your family members. Basically, right? They agree with you. They're the good people.
I mean, yeah, but
they're the good people.
Wait. So
that you have persuaded.
So the haters.
He's saying it's your fault for anybody who's like saying this stuff anyway, because they're on your side. Technically, they're not haters.
Mm-hmm.
They're not haters of you. That's what he's saying. I don't know. It's crazy.
So it's. I don't understand. So let's go back and see that one a little bit.
It wasn't broken. It just, I needed your hot.
And that is because. Whatever, right? Just ignore what I'm saying. That's fine.
All right. Okay. Haters. Haters of Ben. Supporters.
Why do you say haters? Because they're your family members. Basically, right? They agree with you. They're the good people.
I mean, yeah, but
they're the good people that you have persuaded to. Why don't you just say they're your friends, true people who really care about you?
The dog made me fall on my chair.
Now you're gonna frame it as if you're not who you are, right? We're gonna do this thing of saying, no, I agree with my dad. You guys are wrong. They're representing. They're people who are relatively unsophisticated, watching and falling for your bullshit.
So the idea, it's kind of like the idea that Grace creates haters because of her victimhood that she projects that cause people to hate on Ben?
Why don't you call them co-bullshitters?
Okay, fine. Cold bullshitters.
Code
But even that
bullshitters?
is self-reflective.
Or whatever.
They're haters
Why don't
of
you call
They
them
don't have-
either co-bullshitters or wonderful people that care about me? Because that's what they pretend.
Co-bullshitters.
And you have, obviously,
They love you and they hate me, right? So it's like right now. It's like saying,
Yeah.
like, these
Oh, yeah,
haters
yeah.
love you and they hate me. He knows that there's a huge portion of people in the community.
Yep.
that-
And in a way, like, I think that's a way of like blaming her for all of like the people who do say anything. It's like, it's because you act like a victim all the time of me and you pretend like you're scared of me. So everybody perceives me that way because you do, or you pretend to do.
Right. So it's essentially Grace's fault that there are people that want Grace to leave maybe Ben or, you know, have her own identity and maybe don't like Ben.
Mm-hmm.
to get these people to see you in the most sympathetic light as a victim of abuse. And you fucking love it. It's your crack. Ah! Can't you put a pencil down?
Oh. She fell.
I'm taking a break now.
Yes, it's
her fault.
That's what
Okay.
Ben says.
She fell.
She
and
has
that's her
misled
fault.
them. So, you know, this is straight from the horse's mouth, saying that it's her fault and Grace has misled them. And then Grace fell here. And you're going to hear that she's a victim.
That's because we're parked at an angle. I should.
You don't know how gravity works. Okay.
You know, it's weird that I just fell in this video. As a side note, I am a victim of gravity too.
I'm not a victim of that.
Grace is a victim of gravity, and I was a victim of gravity too in this stream. Interesting.
Serendipity.
You in the most sympathetic light as a victim of abuse. And you fucking love it. It's your crack. Ah! Can't you put a pencil down?
Oh, damn it.
It's all an act. I'm pretending to be a victim.
That's because we're parked at an angle.
Pretended to fall.
You don't know how gravity works. Okay. You're a victim of gravity.
I'm not a victim of that.
With that,
being
I'm
a
out.
retard.
I'm out.
Okay, I'll do this.
I don't care what you do, when you do it, why you do it. I think you should figure this out. And
Again,
let me
obsessive
know.
behavior, being like really upset when, you know, it's a part of it, like irritability too. But anytime there's kind of like that distraction, something is disruptive, but that could be like,
Well, but then
somebody
he
getting hurt and like,
But
being
he
like, "I'm
built
gonna
up.
fuck."
Sorry, but
Uh-huh.
he built
No,
up
yeah.
the situation for Grace to feel overwhelmed, and then you know
Yeah.
whether Grace fell on her own or fell because she won, whatever happened, it's like there's this crescendo, and then he's like, "Oh, you're just fucking insane."
I think he's pretending to be irritated by
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
Like,
he-
and like fully mad and like, you know, pissed off because it's like it has nothing to do with you. She fell out of like the car and hurt herself probably.
Mhm.
You know.
By the time Darius wakes up, let me know. You're going to take this RV, transfer it to your name, that's fine. And wreck it. Go ahead. Or just tell me you're getting on the next plane wherever.
Well, where the fuck is he gonna go? What the fuck? He's gonna walk
By the way,
off. I guess he's just going for a walk. Does he want his cigarettes?
I mean, I know that feeling of like that's the thing I always say to Grace. It feels like you're at least in a codependent relationship because, like, you know, we have our own like issues with being worried about each other when a person leaves or does something. You know what I mean? I just see that in Grace, but they happen to be father-daughter. You know, but anyone can be in a codependent relationship, but it's something to look at. I'd say.
Dad, you want your cigarettes?
He didn't give a fuck when she fell out of the car, but she's like, hey, at least take your cigarettes with you. You know, they're in a fight, but I think that Grace, no matter what, will always be selfless, like in many ways, not think about herself.
Why did I get the group? Oh, for the thingy. Okay. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Hey guys, whoever's interested in this, whatever. I guess everybody watching is. I have a theory. Okay, this is my theory. My theory is that I'll just try to say this quickly as possible. I have a fantasy about myself that I'm more competent than I am. And so when he like asks me to do things or suggests things or asks like why things don't make sense, instead of I don't want to be honest about why, like the fact that I'm a slob or whatever, so I will get angry at him instead and say like, it's your fault because you've been talking to me for forever or whatever. That's my theory. So that's why everything breaks down, is because I'm not comfortable with, like, for example, if I'm with somebody, if with somebody else who I don't play all these games with, then I will either just try to be competent, or if I can't make something happen, like I kind of have like two, whatever, not personalities, but I sort of have like the fake me that's like, okay, I'm capable of doing stuff. Shut up, Grace. Nigga, why? Aren't you here to talk? The fuck?
What do you think about all that?
What she said?
Yeah, kind of
I mean,
confusing.
she said, I have a theory that what gets everything off the rails is when I start being like, well, the reason why I'm acting like this is because my dad is winding me up to do that. And so, like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
She said what we said, basically, like, you know, the reason why she like gets all worked up and does these kinds of things is because Ben is pushing her to do so. You know, she's getting flustered and frustrated.
Okay, let's hear. I want to hear her say it again.
Yeah, hear it again. Yeah.
Whatever. I guess everybody watching is. I have a theory. Okay, this is my theory. My theory is that I'll just try to say this quickly as possible. I have a fantasy about myself that I'm more competent than I am.
All right, so I have a fantasy about myself that I'm more competent than I am. So Grace is incompetent, which I don't think's true. I don't think Grace is incompetent. I mean, she basically ran all kinds of shit for Ben. She's been, you know, and for her in her own life.
And so when he like asks me to do things or suggests things or asks like why things don't make sense, instead of I don't want to be honest about why, like the fact that I'm a slob or whatever, so I will get angry at him instead and say like, it's your fault because you've been talking to me for forever or whatever. That's my theory. So that's why everything breaks down, is because I'm not comfortable with, like, for example, if I'm with somebody, if with somebody else who I don't play all these games with, then I will either just try to be competent, or if I can't make something happen, like I kind of have like two.
I guess this is all just kind of like Grace said, even now it doesn't matter, but feels like she's trying to sift through what Ben tells her about herself. That's the way I would describe it.
And the words of the prophet are... Okay. Fuck. Okay. All right, niggas. I'm all yours, okay?
All right. Well, we can stop it here. We could go. I might go back. Maybe we'll do this next week, because I'd like to go through it a little bit longer. But we're at 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think there's like an hour and a half long of that.
Well, because all this stuff is like Grace by herself. I'm more interested in the stuff with Ben.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd like to give it much more time to be able to really like sit and look at it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that part about you're a victim of gravity is really interesting. But
yeah.
I mean, to me, I don't know what Grace is. Is this what it was like, Grace and Ben, for the last 5 years, where there would be like hours and hours of talking, of dissecting your relationship? To me, it just wouldn't be good for your mental health. Maybe that behavior is a result of Ben being hypercritical. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know that John has said that was similar.
That was the norm.
Where they would sit and they would talk and they would critique Courtney, or they would,
have
say
6 to 8 hour conversations.
Right. I think I'd really like to delve into that further. But thanks, guys, for hanging out with us. It was a wild one. Everybody have a good night. And
thank you for
have a good one.
watching.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.